Okay, got it. So, welcome in, everyone. Hope that you are in good health wherever you are. Let's start our practice today with a few moments of just sitting and just breathing, just being aware, letting go together. So, you can find your meditation position and uh, just start to stop and enjoying this freedom to go nowhere, to do nothing, just to breathe and be aware and to enjoy this moment. Just being comfortable with focusing on and feeling the breath is a important experience. Feeling the breath as it flows in deeply and flows out. Give our direct experience of breathing at this moment prioritization, higher prioritization than our intellectual thinking, our intellectual mind. taking our breathing at this present moment to be more vital, more alive, more important than our intellectual thinking and our judgments and our likes or dislikes. Just the direct experience of the breath flowing in at this moment and flowing out. As we go through these readings and discuss and explore today, we can maintain our meditative way, we can recognize that our moment by moment, our present moment experience of breathing is more important and more vital and more essential than our intellectual mind, than our thinking, which doesn't mean that we reject anything or grasp onto anything, but it's kind of we are remembering to come back to a certain balance point, certain power point, which is our present moment breathing. So we are reading from some excerpts, some paragraphs, and sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit less, of these teachings from the enlightened Zen masters, ancient Chinese Zen masters, monks. And in Zen, people have been enlightened by a slap on the face or hearing the sound of a bamboo, uh, like the bottom of a water bucket falling out. They hear something or see something and then awaken to their true nature. It's like looking up and for all your life only having known a sky full of clouds and storms, and then maybe a raindrop hits you on your head, or some light is shining through the cloud, or you see a bird, and then you remember, oh, the mind is a clear blue sky. The true nature of your mind is freedom, is not someone, not something, not some place, not some time. And it's always like that. But and I'm sure other people as well, a lot of the times, if we're not enlightened, then it's like going for a long walk and forgetting that we can take a break. So we get into a tizzy and we get into a hurry. We become obsessed about arriving at our destination or getting somewhere quickly or fixing some problem that we have. When in reality, you just have to stop and let go to really enjoy, to see clearly, and to not be so flustered. Right? How do you complete a long journey? How do you continue on a long journey? You take a break, you stop, you let go of movement, but also not attaching to stillness, also not attaching to the quietude of the mind, because what comes up and what goes away is none other than truth, aliveness, boundlessness. Everything is marked by impermanence and no separate self and not being satisfactory. So a smartphone is portraying the Buddha Dharma, portraying the deepest Buddhist teachings, or a cat, or a piece of stone, a piece of candy. So we can listen to these teachings from these great masters, and hopefully this will inspire in us some questions, some sharing, some comments, but most importantly, to inspire us to recognize our true freedom in this moment. We're looking at some of the teachings from Zen Master Linji, and this one is called No Obsessions. It is most urgent that you seek real, true perception and understanding, so that you can be free in the world and not be confused by ordinary spiritualists. So, if we are seeking the real, true perception and understanding, then we are not going to be very easily manipulated or led along by uh, Fox News or CNN or some kind of media or someone who's trying to sell us some complicated idea, some uh, convoluted spiritual belief system or program or whatever. Okay, because we're not seeking something that's shallow. We're seeking the real, the true perception and understanding in this very moment, right? So when you're going for a walk in your city or in your area, you should be seeking the real, true perception and understanding. Something like a great question, a great looking, a great curiosity. What is this? What is my true nature? Now, if you get involved with a question like this and you're asking it sincerely and you're asking it meaningfully, right? Then someone comes by and tries to, sell you meat out of the back of a van, you're going to say, well, that doesn't sound right to me. I'm looking for my true nature. But if you're just looking for, like an animal, somewhere to sleep, something to eat, somewhere to be warm and feel nice, hey, meat out the back of a van sounds pretty good, right? That's a good deal. What do you got back there, Chief? So we gotta watch out moment by moment. So it says this one's titled No Obsessions. It is most urgent that you seek real, true perception and understanding, so you can be free in the world and not be confused by ordinary spiritualists. It is best to have no obsessions. Just don't be contrived. Simply be normal. Okay, so look at me. I'm one to talk, wearing monk's robes. I mean, that's kind of contrived. But whatever your situation is, just don't be contrived. Because this is a direction, this is a teaching in the here and now, not according to the real true person and a real true story, or the societal framework or social framework or whatever. That's got nothing to do with it. Just don't be contrived now. Have no obsessions now. Do not be obsessed by anything right now. It means we're not going into frivolous debates and arguments about this or that. It's more of a questioning and an opening and an exploration about what? About our true nature, not who's selling the best meat in the back of vans in New York City, right? That's not that's not for us to debate about. The best hot dog in New York City. You can discuss it. And the same with religion and these, more serious topics. Don't be obsessed. Don't be contrived. Simply be normal. That is to be present. You impulsively seek elsewhere, looking to others for your own hands and feet. This is already mistaken. Okay? Your original face doesn't need hands or feet, let alone water or food or a place to sleep or money. Okay. So we are impulsively seeking elsewhere for some satisfaction, for some safety, for some transformation to be the one that is satisfying for us. Impulse, it's an impulse, evolutionary impulse to seek elsewhere, looking to others for your own hands and feet, right? We're scrambling around trying to get someone to help us or uh, to empower us to deal with the situation, to take care of the situation. We don't need to do that. My hands are right here. My feet are right here. You do only, experience only. Do what you need to do. That's it. Don't look for others to, talk about it or explain it or justify it. You just do what you need to do. Don't look to others for that. Okay? This is an interesting one. Okay, this is an interesting one coming up here. This is called the mind ground. Mind ground. The mind ground can go into the ordinary, into the holy, into the pure, into the defiled, into the real, into the conventional. But it is not your real or conventional, ordinary or holy. And these are in quotes. It can put labels on all the real and conventional, the ordinary and holy. But the real and conventional, the ordinary and holy, cannot put labels on someone in the mind ground. If you can get it, use it without putting any more labels on it. So maybe we try for the true nature of the mind ground, the field of awareness itself. Can go into the ordinary, into the holy, into the pure, into the defiled, into the real, into the conventional. But it is not your real or conventional, ordinary or holy. So it is, I'm understanding, it is not your self-fixated, real, conventional, ordinary, holy. What the mind ground goes into is not your understanding of what the mind ground goes into, what your true nature enters into. It can put labels on all the real and conventional, the ordinary and holy, but the real and the conventional, the ordinary and the holy, cannot put labels on someone in the mind ground. If you can get it, use it without putting any more labels on it. So if we are in a state of doing only and experiencing only, then we can enter into any situation, any place. We can experience anything, but it's not our idea of what we are experiencing. Actually, it's more ephemeral. It's more empty. So it can put labels on everything, but nothing can put labels on someone in the mind ground. Ungraspable, boundless, limitless. This is an interesting one. The mind ground. Okay, let's read this one more time and see if anything comes up for anyone. The mind ground can go into the ordinary, into the holy, into the pure, into the defiled, into the real, into the conventional. So I think that is quite understandable. Okay, our mind ground, the say awareness itself, can go into all these things. Then it says, but it is not your quote unquote real or quote unquote conventional, ordinary, or holy. It can put labels on all the real and conventional, the ordinary and holy, but the real and conventional, the ordinary and holy, cannot put labels on someone in the mind ground. Okay, Andrew, go ahead.
So I find it interesting that the writer says that the ordinary can't put labels on someone in the mind ground. How could, something inanimate, how could a reality put a label on a person's experience or their awareness? Is that what he's getting at there?
Hmm. I think that's a good point. So the mind ground, the fundamental ground of the mind, the nature of the mind can go into the ordinary, into the holy, into the pure, can go into anything, but it is not your real or conventional, ordinary or holy. So I see that as the mind ground can go into all these things, but it is not your understanding. It is not what you understand. So it kind of takes your understanding out of it. It can put labels on all the real and conventional. This mind ground, this true nature can put labels, just like we can, we can put labels, if we are the mind ground or if we are whatever. I don't know that animals are putting labels on everything, right? So this is talking about this mind ground, which maybe in Buddhism we say we have access to become enlightened, whereas animals don't. But the mind ground is also in them. So it can put labels on all the real and conventional, ordinary and holy. But the real and conventional, the ordinary and holy, cannot put labels on someone in the mind ground. So now we're not just talking about the mind ground or the fundamental essence of mind, but that someone, that true person, that enlightened being, right? You're a true person that is free of past and future, just the mind ground, just this direct experience. So someone in that direct experience, uh, anything cannot put labels on someone there. Yeah, it's curious. But it seems to be taking away the entity, the self-fix. It seems to be taking away the legitimacy of the self-fixated entity, okay, but giving legitimacy to the true nature entity, or uh, the master, the awakened self, the true self, the Buddha self, right, the Buddha mind, so that nothing, the ordinary and holy, the real and conventional, cannot put labels on someone who is awake. But the mind ground can go into the ordinary, into the holy, can enter into anything, but it is not your real or conventional or anything. It can put labels on anything, but anything cannot put labels on someone in the mind ground. If you can get it, use it without putting any more labels on it. It becomes miraculous activity, right? This human life goes from being a somewhat of an animalistic existence to blessing, to miraculous, right? To transformative, moment by moment, awakened. If you can get it, use it without putting any more labels on it. We're going to a place here, right, where there's not a self in the usual way we think about it. But the self now is the mind ground. So someone in the mind ground Someone who has realized their true nature cannot have any labels put on them. But that which is entering into anything and that which can label anything is not a self. It's the mind ground. Go ahead, Andrew.
When the writer says, if you can get it, use it without putting any additional labels on it, are they suggesting that it's that labeling is in fact an impediment to enlightenment? What are they
Your
getting at there?
intellectual mind is not important. Do only, experience only, go forth. Right? Bless all beings, save all beings. Drink the ocean in one gulp. Cut through Mount Sumeru with a plastic toy sword. Sonia?
Make me think of children when we're young. We are looking at the world and we don't have, first of all, those tickets, or how you say that, the tag, or those hashtag, or those
Labels.
everything. So we're open. Yeah. And so we are open and we are experimenting much more everything because we have no judgment. And so that's we cannot put those even on a child because it just want to discover, and it's coming after a little bit after, I think, when we get more in the convention and want to be like from other and everything, maybe.
I like that. And Sonia, it brought up for me that if you have a bathtub, if you can get it, use it without putting any more labels on it. Right? If you can get something, if you can step forth off the 1,000-foot tall pole, if you can step forth out of your depression or your anxiety, if you can get it, use it without putting any more labels on it. If you can get the mind ground, then go forth. Use it. Use it for what? Well, to save all beings, to just use it. Using only, experiencing only. Don't put any more labels on it. That's the self-critical mind also, right? We want to do something nice for ourselves or buy something or do something, and then we get it, but we don't just use it. We try to use it and then we put labels on it, and now we're judging ourselves and we're getting into our mind. If you can get it, use it, and don't put any more labels on it. Try, right? Try to do good deeds. And in doing good deeds, doing only, experiencing only. If you have to quit, quit only. If you have to rest, rest only. If you have to eat, eat only. If you overate, you overate only. Stop adding all these extra labels and contrivances and artificialities into the mind, right? Just do it. Go for broke. This body is like a bank account that is for sure going to be emptied out one day. So that's the reality of the situation we're in, right? So if you can get it, use it without putting any more labels on it.
It's so funny, Bhante. Our body is like a bank account. Oh, it's so funny. I never thought of that.
It doesn't matter how high the number goes. It's all going to be 0 one day for all of us. Any day, anytime, right?
Bhante, what happened when you have nothing in your bank account? You die. The metaphor you were trying to tell us is maybe we could live with it's impossible to live without a bank account. But I don't know, it's so weird, the metaphor you did.
Well, we had before about the Buddha within. There is no stability in the world. It is like a house on fire. This is not a place where you can stay for a long time. The murderous demon of impermanence, right? And that's what you're saying, Sonia. This is some kind of demon, my bank account being empty, right? The murderous demon of impermanence is instantaneous, and it does not choose between the upper and lower classes or between the old and the young. So life is really like this. If we can be so fortunate to have a human body, and if we can be so fortunate to have means and resources, have a understanding of some sort, if you can get it, use it, and don't put any more labels on it. Our bank account is empty. That's that's our real situation. That's our true mind. That's impermanence. You know,
Yeah.
and we say we can't, I can't live without a bank account. Well, that's not true because of virtue, of goodness, of generosity. It's actually quite possible, Sonia. We'll get you, we'll get you over to Myanmar. We'll get you over to Thailand. We'll empty your bank account for you. I'll help you out. And you won't have to live with one for sure. There's resources there, you know? And how is that? How can we do that? Through virtue, through goodness, not through our artificiality, not through our our business plans and our deals and things like that. It's through our virtues, through our goodness, through our generosity.
I absolutely think you're true. It's true. But all the society makes us believe that we are nothing without account bank. And we feel that sometimes. And before we could be poor and happy. Now, if we're poor, we're completely miserable. That's horrible.
Yeah. Andrew?
I wanted to say to Sonia, I think that the key to finding happiness, being poor, being rich, being anything, is being content with what you have. And not, it's that wanting for more that causes that difficulty.
Yeah, absolutely. I think exactly like you. It's just that I was thinking not for myself, but the way we are in our society, you know? If we want to help others, we have to be able to feel how they feel. So I think that right now in our society, people are very, very despair. You know what I mean?
What is it? Despair? Desperate?
Désespéré.
Desperate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they don't have a lot, if they don't have a job, if they don't have all what the secure and people have, they could have more, even more difficulty than before. I feel that. So we should find a way to make them feel again that it's true. They could be free and they could be happy even with, like you said. But I don't know how we can make people think about those things today. Because we are learning Buddhism. So we get through a lot of art, teaching, understanding, but it's something so important for people that they could understand the same thing about it's okay if you have nothing. You are great. You have a lot of possibility. Do you understand what I mean?
We should also try to empathize with the impermanence of what we are experiencing at this moment. You should try to understand that this body and this mind that you're referencing is empty of continuity, is not going to continue. So it's the bank account that is for sure going to zero out, and it can zero out at any moment. So that's not to grasp, that's not to put labels on, but if you can get it, use it. The bank account that will zero out for sure at any moment. So it's something to use, to experience, not something to put labels on. And of course, not something to fret about, right? The fretting is more like I said before, it's going for a walk and not a long walk and becoming flustered because it's hot and your legs are getting sore and you're getting tired. Well, what do? Stop, right? You sit down, you have a cup of tea, you take a bath, you wash your clothes, right? We all doing things like this. But actually this, washing clothes, we wash the body, right? But this body is bound to become and is a corpse, a walking corpse, an animated corpse, a living corpse, right? Where's this body going? It's going to decay. It is decaying. It's not that we might get that call. It's that we are getting that call now. That is each and every moment. That phone is ringing. It happened. right? This person or you know, we looked at your results and you're not going to like what we got to say, but we got to tell you. It's every single moment. It's like that. But if you can get it, use it. Don't put any more labels on it. That you're a good walker or a bad walker, or that you're dehydrated, or that you're out of shape, or that you need to get there faster, or you need to, the people behind you. Don't put any more labels on the situation. So then we can be someone in the mind ground. We can be someone who is established themselves in this place of blessing, of brightening, right? Of widening out. Of taking care. And it's almost an exercise that we can do of, sitting here and, aware of our breathing in our body, sure, in our present situation, okay, but that I don't have any more money, right? The bank has reached zero. All that momentum has reached zero. You can just sit and abide in that. And actually, that's the reality of the situation. It's not you. It's not your causing conditions. It's not your bank account. It's just causing conditions. The real, the conventional, the ordinary, the holy, the mind ground, right? The ever new impermanent nature, the law of impermanence can go into the ordinary, into the real, into the conventional. But it's not your real or conventional. The mind ground, ever new impermanent nature can go into the Bank of America, can enter into Bank of America, but it's not your Bank of America. It can put labels on everything that's real, everything that's conventional, ordinary, holy, but the ordinary and conventional, the holy and the real, cannot put labels on someone in the mind ground. If you can get it, use it without putting any more labels on it. Okay, is it clear for everyone? A little bit workable? Okay, we can also say you go and have a cup of tea, Elisha, or you go for a walk outside. If you can get it, use it. Don't put any more labels on it. Because when we do rouse ourselves to go and do something, hopefully something good, generous, skillful, just use it, just do it, just experience it. Don't put any more labels on it. Just breathing, just sitting here, just being aware. If you can get it, Just use it without putting any more labels on it. And that's the real romance, the real poeticism that exists in life. And now in modern days, you don't need to, you know, um, just sit and listen to the rain. Well, you might be having your smartphone and listening to the rain or whatever. It's nice to just sit with the rain, but also if you can get it, then use it without putting any more labels on it. It's not that one particular thing that's not being done perfectly that's the problem, right? It is a fluctuating mind, fabricating artificialities and contrivances, complicatedness and judgments, pollution, true perception and understanding. People who study Buddhism, okay, and this is what we're doing here. We are looking into Buddhism, but mainly you have to take responsibility. Mainly I have to take responsibility, and we cooperate or support each other. This, what they used to say on uh, the advertisements is Bhante Varrapanyo is one part of a balanced Buddhist diet. Okay, it's not the whole thing. And actually, those advertisements were often a lie. You shouldn't eat frosted flakes for breakfast, but you're eating them, so you better take care of yourself. People who study Buddhism should seek real, true perception and understanding for now. If you attain real, true perception and understanding, birth and death do not affect you. You are free to go or stay. You needn't seek wonders, for wonders come of themselves. You don't need to seek brilliance. You don't need to seek blessings, because blessings come of themselves. Okay? Labels and objective truth. Objective truth as this is not objective truth, but it's a pointer of the inherent impermanence of your body, not the inherent permanence, the inherent insolidity of your bank account. It's inherent in that your bank account is going to go to zero for all of us, okay? And that your body is going to decay and pass away instantaneously. That's our reality. Okay, that's what reality is. So this objective truth of impermanence that we are very kind of we take very lightly. So labels and objective truth. Because you grasp labels and slogans, you are hindered by those labels and slogans, both those used in ordinary life and those considered sacred. Thus, they obstruct your perception of objective truth, and you cannot understand clearly. If you want to be free, get to know your real self. Okay, we can listen to this one. It has no form, no appearance, no root, no basis, no abode, but is lively and buoyant. It responds with versatile facility, versatile faculties, but its function cannot be located. Therefore, when you look for it, you become further from it. When you seek it, you turn away from it all the more. Just put thoughts to rest and don't seek outwardly anymore. When things come up, then give them your attention. Just trust what is functional in you at present, and you have nothing to be concerned about. Just put thoughts to rest and don't seek outwardly anymore. When things come up, then give them your attention. Just trust what is functional in you at present, and you have nothing to be concerned about. In sitting, just sitting. In bathing, just bathing. In YouTube, just YouTube. In being with your cat, just being with your cat. And you have nothing to be concerned about. Okay, we can see if anyone has any question. We do have a question from the YouTube from Dilipa. I believe they asked this a while ago, but they said, Venerable Bhante, how should we face accusations, either real or false? How should we make use of the teachings of Tilakana to face them? Please help Bhante. Well, let's see, what is Tilakana? Let's see. And the Tilakana. The Yeah, I don't know what Tilakana is, but is it not self? How can we make use of not self? Is that what they said? Tilakana?
Impermanent suffering and not self, the three marks of existence.
For Tilakana? That doesn't. Thilakhana. Is that right, Avi? Well, wow. And what did you say it was?
The three marks of existence, that's impermanent suffering and not self.
I love those. Those are ones that I love. So I'm glad they brought the answer with them. So the way that we deal with accusations and in a social environment, um, primarily is that you don't get involved. You don't defend yourself. Um, this is just feeding a kind of self fixation, right? You're building up this sense of self. There's no one to defend. Okay. There's no other person on the other end of the line. It's just you sitting in a hotel room talking on a phone that's disconnected from the hook. And now you're going to really feed the fire, because now that's a scary situation. I don't want to be that situation, right? So don't feed into self-fixated dialogue, and learn from what they say. Learn from that experience. There's one teacher I remember who said about that, if you are blamed or slandered or whatever, but you change your life and you develop yourself, or you become a person worthy of respect and support, then that defamation will actually become a source of merit. It will become a source of blessing, because it's a time when you can see right through your false perceptions. If you look closely, you will see, oh, um, that's not true. That's not true through my experience. Other than that, not getting too wrapped up or tangled up in defending yourself or attacking the other person or debating with them about what they think or what they believe, which is just endlessly problematic. Do your best. Simple as that. And don't overthink it, and don't worry too much about outside, the externals, right? Take care of your own heart and mind, and be your own best friend. It doesn't matter if you're the worst person in the world, you should still be your own best friend. We can't wait for our society to become compassionate and idealistic, and have Nordic prisons everywhere, right? So we have to do that for ourselves. You have to become your own Nordic prison system, right? You don't just, because people often think like be your own best friend means that you just rile yourself up to do whatever, and you say, oh yeah, just do whatever, because you're just supporting yourself, right? But that's not what a best friend does. A best friend says, hey, what's going on? Why is your room a mess? Right? Why are you just in bed? Let's get up, let's go out, let's transform this. And they don't just come once or twice, but they keep coming back to check on you and say, let's do this. Get those cobwebs out of there. I see you, I know you, I love you, and we're, let's continue. Don't get stuck on this. So we have to learn how to be that for ourselves. And if we're getting super involved in other people blaming us or defaming us, you're just getting involved in something that's empty, right? There is no real true self for you to defend. So, and anyway, praise and blame are also not satisfactory. It's just a kind of energy. Neither of those are going to satisfy you. You have the highest status, you have the perfect record, everybody loves you. That's also not going to satisfy you. That's also just a trick, right? It's like we have more money. Oh, now you want to be more satisfied with more money. There's no point when you say, oh, I'm satisfied, because then you're trying to hold on to and protect what you already have, right? The status you have, or the praise that you have, the respect that people give you. So it's just a trick, right? Maybe our ancestors, they thought, oh, if I have 100 pounds of meat in my tent, then I will be satisfied. But actually, no, they weren't, right? The meat went rotten. And anyway, so this is just life. We shouldn't get too involved with these people, these situations. And it can inspire us to, that blame or that judgment, that negative push on us can also be inspiring. Do more good deeds, follow your precepts more closely, meditate more diligently, be your own best friend more and more and more, so that that kind of negativity becomes very transparent. If we aren't taking care of ourselves, then we're going to be very worried about other people's views and other people's positions about us and all that. But if we're really being there for ourselves, taking the best care, doing our best, sila, samadhi, panya, right? Our virtue, our meditation, our wisdom, our insight, our deeper way of looking, and we're staying with it, it's not too much important if someone praises us or if someone blames us. Yeah, we enjoy one, we don't like another one, but that's a straight shot to diabetes. Okay? So it's not so important. We enjoy this one, we don't enjoy that one. No. Just relax and let go. Come home. And do your best without trying to defend yourself or to make yourself out to be the best person. Just do only, just experience only. If you can get it, use it. Don't put labels on it. See what happens. Um, okay, and then last question here was on alcoholism. It's an addiction, and you need to get involved ASAP in going to an AA meeting. Anyone here who's dealing with addiction, which I'm sure all of us are in one sense or another, get to a meeting, an addiction meeting. Sex Addicts Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm sure they've got other anonymouses as well. Get to a meeting. Should you get to a meeting because the people there are the best people, or it's the best philosophy, or you need to get help? Maybe it doesn't need to be any of those things. It's that you need to step out from this calloused, crusty, meaningless life. You need to go and live a meaningful life. You need to have a meaningful experience. You need to shake up that situation. Because why are we addicted to sex or addicted to alcohol or addicted to some drug or something? Because our lives are vapid and shallow, and we're trying to fill up this hole inside of ourselves, right? So some people say, oh, you need to fill up that hole with God or enlightenment, right? Seeing your true nature. But actually, to be a little bit more practical, you need to get involved in a meaningful life that is coming from a good intention. And when you go to a meeting like this, or you start volunteering, or you start putting yourself out there, things can change very, very quickly. But for anyone who's going through addiction, those meetings are a wonderful resource. And you've got to recognize what I'm doing is making me sick, and I'm not really able to get a hold of it, and I'm not dealing with it well at all. And so you have to give yourself up. You have to go out there. There's this big idiot inside of you talking a lot of nonsense about this place and that place and this and that and da 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 da. You just need to go, period. Then you can get help for sure. Just by having that experience, just by releasing yourself and from this trap. It's a kind of generosity. It's a kind of detachment, right? You're giving yourself up. You're going out there. You're putting yourself out there. And it's going to give you a refresh and a restarting point, a big one. You might meet some other people who are also on that path and in that situation. Meet some Sangha. We've got to get out there. We've got to shake things up. You got to be exposed, got to be in community. Otherwise, it's just a crusty, musty experience. You got to shake things up somehow. You've got to eat the shit. That's it. You've got to eat the shit. If you don't eat the shit, you are not going to heal. Okay? The shit is medicine. Okay? But it's in the right context. It's in the right environment. I'm not talking about, some crazy military, some wild military training or something like that. I'm talking about facing your adversity from a wholesome intention. To face, to be with, to go out there, to be vulnerable, to be supported, to start going for long walks, to go to a meeting, to volunteer, to see about going to a meditation center, or reaching out for help. To listen, right? To listen to the unsatisfactory sounds of the present moment experience. Because that's the heal. There's healing in that. There's freedom in that. But if we're just running towards what we like and trying to avoid what we don't like in this frantic state, we're never going to go deep to know our mind, to know impermanence, the reality of it, to know no self, to know unsatisfactoriness, to develop a relationship with unsatisfactoriness, to smile as dust and dirt flows into our nostrils, and to breathe and take a deep breath, right? To let the heat kill you, to let the cold kill you. And there's so much healing in this. Okay, so let's say some words of metta. Let's say some words of loving kindness together to wrap up. And then we'll do three sadhus, all right? We can all bring our hands together like this. And repeat after me. May I be free from my suffering. May I be free from my fear. May I be free from my self-doubt. May goodness and confidence grow in my heart. May peace and freedom be all around me. May I feel safe in difficult situations. May I be kind. May I be free of complicated or frantic thinking. May all those who are around me be peaceful and feel safe. May all those who are far away from me feel peaceful and safe. May all beings and all aspects of myself be at peace. May all beings and all aspects of myself see clearly. May I be free. May I be happy. May I become enlightened. May all become enlightened. May all realize the true nature of the mind. May it be. May it be. May it truly be. Sadhu. 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 We can all make a bow. Okay, thank you all my friends for being here, and enjoy your present moment. And if you can get it, use it, and don't put any more labels on it. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you all.
You're all
Thank
very
you very